The Dendera Light, Part 3. The Chamber That Should Not Exist. The light from the floor was unmistakable now. Not imagination, not reflection, actual light. Thin at first, leaking through a hairline crack between the sealed stones. Daniel stepped back instinctively. "Okay, that's not normal," he said under his breath. The man beside him didn't move. Instead, he crouched down slowly and studied the glowing line. His expression changed, not surprised, concerned. "That seal wasn't supposed to weaken yet," he murmured. Daniel stared at him. Yet! Another vibration rolled through the crypt, stronger than before. Dust drifted from the ceiling. Daniel's flashlight flickered briefly, and that's when something clicked in his mind. "You knew this might happen." The man didn't deny it. "I suspected." Daniel folded his arms. "You brought me here on purpose." The man stood again. "Yes." Daniel let out a slow breath. "Why?" The man looked back at the Dendera carving. "Because you're one of the few researchers who noticed the pattern." Daniel frowned. "What pattern?" Instead of answering directly, the man pointed at the wall again. "Look at it carefully." Daniel had already studied the carving earlier, but now he looked again, this time slower, more methodical. The oval structure, the serpent, the jed pillar, the figures around it, and suddenly something felt different. Daniel narrowed his eyes. "Wait." He stepped closer to the wall. "There are alignment marks." The man nodded slightly. Daniel traced one of the carved lines with his flashlight beam. "These symbols, they repeat." "Yes." "Not randomly." "No." Daniel stepped back to see the entire relief, and then it hit him. "They're directional." The man smiled faintly. "Exactly." Daniel looked around the crypt again, then back at the carving. "You're saying this isn't just a device, it's mapping one." Daniel's pulse quickened. "A layout." "Yes." "Of the temple?" The man shook his head slowly. "No." Daniel's stomach tightened. "Of what's under it." Silence settled in the chamber again. The faint glow from the floor was slightly brighter now, still thin, but growing. Daniel exhaled slowly. "So let me get this straight." He pointed to the carving. "This is a blueprint." "Yes." "And whatever's under us matches this." "That's the theory." Daniel stared at the man. "That's not a theory. That's insane." Another vibration moved through the stone floor. This time the hum was louder, low, deep, almost like machinery waking up after a long sleep. Daniel whispered, "You hear that?" "Yes." Daniel looked down again. The glowing crack was wider now. "There's definitely someone down there." The man's expression turned serious. "Or something." Daniel shot him a look. "Let's stay realistic." The man didn't reply. Instead, he walked toward the wall and shined his flashlight on another part of the carving Daniel hadn't examined yet. A smaller figure, holding what looked like a staff, but the staff connected to the same oval structure. Daniel squinted. "That wasn't in the photos." "No," the man said. "Most images online only show the main relief." Daniel leaned closer, and then he noticed something strange about the figure. It wasn't just holding the staff. It looked like it was activating it, almost like flipping a switch. Daniel stepped back again. "If this is a map, then where's the entrance?" The man didn't hesitate. "Right here." He pointed to the sealed stone slab. Daniel looked down. "You're kidding." "No." "But this was sealed decades ago." "Yes." Daniel thought for a moment. Then he said, "Which means whoever's down there didn't come through here." The man nodded slowly. "Exactly." Daniel's eyes widened slightly. "There's another entrance?" "Yes." Daniel's voice dropped. "And someone found it." Before the man could respond, a sudden metallic sound echoed faintly from beneath the floor. Clang! Both of them froze. Daniel whispered, "That sounded close." The man's tone changed. "They're moving upward." Daniel felt adrenaline hit instantly. "Who is they?" The man finally answered a question directly.
People who have been searching for this longer than you have. Daniel stared at him. You mean a team? The man didn't reply it right away. Then he said, not exactly. Another vibration shook the chamber, this time stronger. A small crack spread slightly across the sealed slab. The light underneath brightened. Daniel stepped back quickly. Okay, this is getting dangerous. The man nodded. Yes. Then why are we still standing here? The man looked him straight in the eyes. Because this is the moment historians have been afraid of. Daniel frowned. What moment? The man gestured toward the glowing floor. The moment someone reaches the chamber first. Daniel's voice sharpened. You knew someone was coming. Yes. And you didn't stop them?
The man shook his head. They can't be stopped anymore. Daniel ran a hand through his hair. This is insane. Then suddenly, his flashlight went out. The crypt plunged into darkness again. Daniel tapped it. Nothing. Seriously? A second later, the man's flashlight flickered too, then died. Complete darkness. Except now, the glow from the floor was much brighter, bright enough to illuminate the crypt faintly. Daniel's heart was racing. That's not good. The man spoke quietly. No. The hum from beneath the temple was louder now, clearer, definitely mechanical. Daniel whispered, that sounds like a generator. The man replied, or something older. Daniel looked toward the carving again, and then he noticed something that made his breath catch. The Dendera relief itself was glowing faintly now, not the entire wall, just the oval structures, the so-called lights. Daniel's voice dropped to almost nothing. They're responding. The man nodded slowly. Yes. To what? The man answered in a way Daniel didn't expect. To power. Another sound echoed from below, closer now. Footsteps. Daniel froze. You hear that? Yes. They're coming up. The man looked toward the sealed slab, then toward the entrance of the crypt, as if calculating something. Daniel whispered, how many people know about this place? The man replied quietly, too many. The glow from the crack suddenly intensified. Then the stone slab shifted slightly, just a few millimeters, but enough to hear it move. Daniel stepped back quickly. That seal is breaking. The man's voice was calm, but tense. It wasn't designed to last forever. Another metallic sound from below. Voices this time, muffled, but human. Daniel's eyes widened. They're definitely down there. Then something unexpected happened. The carvings on the wall flickered again, like a pulse of energy moved through them. Daniel whispered, this shouldn't be possible. The man responded with a sentence that changed everything. The ancient Egyptians didn't build this. Daniel slowly turned toward him. What did you just say? The man looked directly at the glowing floor. They discovered it. Daniel's mind raced. Discovered? What? The man answered quietly. A machine. Before Daniel could react, the stone slab beneath them shifted again, this time louder. Dust scattered across the floor, and a deep mechanical sound echoed upward from the chamber below. Something large was powering up. Daniel stared at the floor, heart pounding. What did they find down there? The man replied in a whisper, that's what we're about to find out. And then the slab cracked open just enough for a beam of light to shoot into the crypt, a light far brighter than anything they had seen so far, and from the opening below, a voice called out, who's up there? Daniel and the man looked at each other, because that voice sounded familiar.